What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my predictions for UFC 314 Volkanovski versus Lopes. So let's get right into it. So, the main card we'll skip and we'll start off with down here in our early prelims. So, most of these fights, I haven't heard of any of these guys, but the only people I have heard is the last fight in the early prelims, Michael Oleksiejczuk, I believe. I know he fought Kevin Holland and Shara Bullet. And then Dumas, I've heard he's a grappler style. And I know Oleksiejczuk is a striker, although he's not too elite. He's been getting kind of thrown to the wolves lately. He fights pretty often, I would say, more often than maybe 50% of fighters. But I think he's probably going to be able to pull this off because he has decent grappling. I remember him taking down Shara, even though Shara's grappling is absolutely horrible. I believe he'll get it done. He's the favorite. Dumas is the underdog. I haven't seen Dumas fight before, but from what I've heard, I just think Oleksiejczuk's going to get it done. Going on to the prelims, Darren Elkins, I've seen him fight before. I've never heard of this guy. I know Darren Elkins used to be somewhat of a good fighter. I know he has a lot of experience and he's pretty old now, but I think the odds should maybe be a little closer, even though I've never seen this guy fight. I think maybe with his experience he could get it done since I've never really heard of this guy, but I don't know. This fight's kind of a toss-up for me due to me not knowing really anything about this fighter. On to Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. This should be a pretty decent fight. Jim Miller, he has a lot of experience. He's been in there with the best people. Chase Hooper, he's an up-and-coming prospect. Switched from featherweight to lightweight, so he's not making as big as a weight cut. Minus 800. I think these odds are a little off as well. I think it should probably maybe be minus 500, and it should probably be plus maybe 250. I could see Chase Hooper winning this. I kind of want Jim Miller to win this since he said he has about 5 fights left, wanting to make it to 50 fights. He has the most fights in the UFC, I believe, and I think I want to see Jim Miller get done, but I think Chase Hooper's gonna get done. Just because he's the younger prospect. He's definitely got a lot longer left in his career, obviously, than Jim Miller. Jim Miller is probably going to retire within, I would say, the next 2 to 3 years once he gets his next 5 fights over, including this one. Moving on to the next fight, I'm going to skip this one. I've seen both of these women fight, but I just can't give an accurate opinion about it. I can't analyze it enough to say much about it. On to the featured prelim, Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. I've seen Sean Woodson fight. He is a really lengthy featherweight for 145. He's huge. I believe he's 6'2". Dan Ige is pretty small. He took the Diego Lopes fight on short notice. Performed pretty well in that fight. I believe Sean Woodson's probably going to get it done, but I have seen him get dropped. Dan Ige does have some power. I could see Dan Ige pulling it off. I really could, but I think he's just on his last fight he lost to Lerone Murphy, which isn't a bad loss because Lerone is kind of tearing through the rankings quietly, even though he just beat Josh Emmett. I don't truly believe he dominated that fight, but I think he probably more than likely won it. Dan Ige, I mean, I could see him winning this, but I think just Woodson's too lengthy. His distance will be too good. Too much for Dan Ige to cover in time without getting clipped. Woodson is going to catch him, I think, on the way in if Dan Ige tries to get into the pocket with him. But I could see Dan Ige winning this. Dan Ige is a dog. Dan Ige is an absolute beast. He's a warrior. But I think Sean Woodson is gonna pull it off just based purely off of statistics and factual information about just how this fight should be predicted to go. Um, Going on to the first card of the main event, first fight of the main card, uh, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes lost to John Jones, winning a huge fight, losing skid. Nikita Krylov, he's kind of been up and down. He's fights in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style. Recently switched his country from Russia to Ukraine. My pick is going to be Dominic Reyes, even though he's the underdog. Dominic Reyes was on that huge fight losing streak that I was just talking about. And he started making a comeback. He took some time off, beat Jacoby, beat Anthony Smith, and I don't see him losing. He's a really good striker, has good anti-wrestling, defensive grappling. I know I don't believe in the John Jones fight. There's too much grappling, but I do believe he has good anti-wrestling. So I'm going to pick for this one Dominic Reyes. It's not going to be a walk, but I do believe he's my pick. I think he'll either get the finish or he'll dominantly win this without a question that Nikita Krylov. I don't think it's going to be a split decision. I think it's going to be a fight that we'll know who the winner was. Going on to this fight, this is a really hyped up bout, featherweight 145 between Jean Silva, Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell has said some controversial stuff. Bryce Mitchell is the underdog. Jean Silva is the favorite. Bryce Mitchell's been talking about his religious beliefs and his religion, his faith, about how Jean Silva is filled with a legion of demons, and how he's going to exorcise them. My pick might be controversial, but I'm going to pick Bryce Mitchell for this fight. He's just a more experienced fighter. Jean Silva, I think this is going to be a big fraud check that nobody's going to see incoming. I could see this pick aging really bad, but I think Jean Silva is going to lose this fight. I don't think he's experienced enough, even though he's got a lot of power. The people he's been fighting aren't well-renowned fighters. I don't think he's fought anyone that's on a seriously elite level of mixed martial arts. Bryce Mitchell, he's fought Josh Emmett, fought Ilya Topuria. He's fought a lot of good people. He may have lost to them, but let's look at who he's fought and why he lost to them. Josh Emmett, one of the most powerful 145ers ever, if not the most powerful. Ilya Topuria, more than likely the greatest skill for skill, pound for pound, featherweight that's ever fought. Even though he doesn't have the greatest legacy, I think skill for skill, he's the best featherweight of all time. He's got amazing grappling. He's got amazing striking. He's my number one favorite fighter. But when you look at what Bryce Mitchell did, he was able to anti-wrestle and almost out-wrestle Ilya Topuria. Ilya Topuria, his original base, his original martial art, his foundation of his mixed martial arts career is wrestling. Bryce Mitchell is an elite grappler. Even though he has one submission, I believe it is in the UFC, one submission in the UFC, I think he's probably going to get this done by either grounded and pound or my possibly split or unanimous decision. I could possibly see Jean Silva gassing out in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised because with all that power comes all that expenditure of energy. It would not surprise me if Jean Silva gassed out, but I would not be too surprised after the damage Bryce Mitchell took with that Josh Emmett KO, his chin being severely compromised. So Jean Silva I could see getting it done, but I think Bryce Mitchell is going to pull this one off. Okay, on to the really anticipated fights. Even though this fight was anticipated, these fights have been really hyped up. I'm excited to see them. Yair Rodriguez, number 5th ranked featherweight, hasn't fought in a while. Patricio Pitbull, coming from Bellator, making his featherweight debut, just making his UFC debut. He's 37, I believe. Yair Rodriguez, former interim champion, beat Josh Emmett, fought Volkanovski, got knocked out. Patricio Pitbull, I think he's going to pull it off this one. I think Yair, he's just not an elite enough fighter to be able to stop Patricio Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull, I think, might put on a masterclass. But I don't know. We see when Yair Rodriguez starts to lose confidence in himself, he really starts to slow down, and usually his opponents usually start to pick up the pace and really take off with the momentum in the fight, because Yair Rodriguez, he's a confidence fighter, and he relies on his self-confidence to really pick up the speed in his favor. And when it starts going the other way for the other fighter, his opponent, we really see him start to slow down. And but when it is going his way, we really see him put on the heat, put on the pressure. It's just got to be. It matters what day it is. It just matters if it's his time. If he's in the zone, he could pull it off. I could see it. This is a very even fight for me. It's almost a toss-up. I was considering not giving a pick for this fight, just reading out what the statistics are, what factual information is. This fight could very much go either way, but I'm gonna give it to Patricio Pitbull. I see him winning this. I haven't seen him fight before because I don't watch Bellator, even though my coach did at one point fight in Bellator. I think Patricio Pitbull will pull it off. I've seen some clips of him fighting Chandler when he fought Chandler, and he's got, from what I've seen, he has got some power to him, even though that was at lightweight. I think he's gonna pull it off, and but this fight's really 50-50 for me, 60-40 maybe. So you guys really pick whoever you want. I would not recommend betting on this fight, but all of these fights are 50-50. This one's 100% 50-50. I'll just say Patricio Pitbull, but this one's really just a toss-up. This one is more 60-40. I would say Bryce Mitchell. This one's probably 60-40, Dominic Reyes, even though he's the underdog. Nikita Krylov hasn't fought in 2 years, I believe it is. A little over 2 years. But on to the co-main and main event. So here we are. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Number 7, number 12. This is for possibly whoever wins this. These are both super marketable fighters. Whoever wins this fight possibly is one fight away from a title shot. That's how important this fight is. This is somewhat of a title eliminator. This is a title shot, title eliminator. That's what I'll call it. But Paddy Pimblett's got really good jiu-jitsu and submissions. Michael Chandler's got the wrestling background and has really big swings and a lot of power. He's really explosive, really entertaining. For this one, I'm going to pick Chandler. I don't really understand why he's the underdog. Paddy sometimes fights with his chin up, his hands down. I think Chandler's going to cover the distance and clip him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Paddy got him. I mean, Paddy's way younger. I think 6, 7, 8 years younger. You could see him winning. He's a decently smart fighter. I think he's smarter than Chandler, although Chandler, he just really tries to muscle his way around the octagon against fighters. But I'm going to choose Michael Chandler. I think he's the more elite fighter, better skill set. Actually, I'd say Paddy Pimblett has the better skill set, but he just doesn't utilize it as well, and I don't think he mixes the arts as well, nowhere near as well as Chandler does. So on to the main event. This main event is the best card. Just the overall card, I think, is the best card of this year so far, 2025. But on the main event, Alexander Volkanovski, number 1, lost the belt to Ilia Topuria. In my opinion, he's in the best featherweight of all time. Versus Diego Lopes, prospect, number 3rd ranked. Diego's the underdog. Volkanovski is the favorite. Okay, so I just seen less than probably 2-3 hours ago, Diego Lopes, he got into a little skirmish at the press conference with Yair Rodriguez, but Other than that, I don't think either of these fighters are going to have much in their mind. They're really just focused on getting the belt. I think Volkanovski's going to take it. Volk is going to be my pick. And let me explain why. Volkanovski, he's an elite striking. He's way better striking than Lopes. But Lopes is a way better round one fighter. He's got that first round power. Somewhat of it carries into the second round. And he somewhat gasses in the third round. But I don't think he'll be able to carry that into the championship rounds. I don't believe he's been in a fight where there's been 5 rounds before. I may be wrong. Volkanovski's got the rugby background. Rugby, which kind of translates to wrestling. He used to wrestle when he was a child, I believe. That's something that I had heard. But Lopes has got the elite. When I mean elite, he has elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. Alexa Grasso's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach. So Lopes, if he's gonna win, is either gonna be by an early knockout or a late submission. I would say the late submission. I would say there's a much lower chance for that because Volkanovski doesn't really get choked out. He's never really been submitted. I don't think he's gonna be submitted after that Brian Ortega fight. He's kind of unsubmittable in my opinion, but we'll see. Alexander Volkanovski. I think he's gonna either get a late TKO in the third, fourth, or fifth round, more than likely fourth or fifth, if he does get a decision, or he'll win by decision, a dominant 49-46 or 48-47. I just don't think Diego's on his level. I don't think he's ready for this level of competition yet. I think he's gonna show levels in the sport of mixed martial arts. I don't think Diego just has the experience yet. Even though Diego has more fights than him, they haven't been as a high level as Volk has been at. For the amount of time he's been at, the high level of competition, being the most dominant featherweight of all time. Debatable with Jose Aldo, somewhat. At the same time, not really, because Jose Aldo in his era was not fighting anywhere near as elite competition as Volkanovski was. But that's my picks for UFC 314. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed.